Hi, guys. I'd like to continue on with Judge Jay. And this is right after someone asked me about the finger pickers that do not use a thumb pick. And I said that Lawrence Juber is one of my favorites. Kind of ran out of time on that. So now we're talking to Judge Jay, a friend of mine. He said, your right hand technique is remarkable. Thank you so much from a judge. That says it means a lot for anybody. Thank you. Your chord knowledge seems to be steeped in jazz chord voicings. Who were your influence specifically regarding your left hand? Of course, Lenny Breau was probably my biggest influence there as far as a guitar player. You know, I was. And Martin Taylor. I learned a few things off. And these guys know a whole lot more about theory and all that sort of. You know, it's just a culmination of guitar and piano. My brother is also a really fine musician. But I would play, like, do sessions. Instead of that, you know, I would like the. Passing things like that, you know, where there's more movement, and that comes from listening to people like David Ellis, a great piano player, working with him. My brother Aubrey, Tom Keene, who's one of the greatest musicians too I've ever met, and he did all the string arrangements and conducting when I did all the orchestral type things. Larry Goss. What an amazing musician and arranger he was. He and Tom were right together in my book. And then working with people like Phil Driscoll. I mean, Phil has such an ear for things, you know. And but, you know, putting that on the guitar and not sounding jazz is another thing for me, because I don't want a steady diet of any of it. I mean, I like a little bluegrass here, a little jazz in that, and a little that. And I think it just keeps things interesting. And so I don't play enough of it, though, to say I'm a jazz player or I'm a bluegrasser, because I'm not, you know. But it's great to glean from all of those things. And a lot of them are not guitar players. Gary Harding, a good friend of mine. Hey, Gary. And if you could roll time backwards, I wish I would have met you 40 years ago. Well, thank you so much. And thanks for sharing the stories. You're a great storyteller as well, and especially with your Western theme stories. Gary Harding, look him up. And Robbie says, who's someone you've never collaborated with that you would like to? Oh my gosh. Of course, I think Mark Knopfler, you know, but I'd like to do more with guys that I have played with, but actually do an album with, like Rob Ickes and Andy Leftwich, and guys that aren't necessarily guitar players. Man, that would be great. I've worked with some really good guys, though. I mean, I did a tour one time with Lawrence Juber. That was a lot of fun because we both play so different. And I'd like to do more with my son. He's a great musician. Mark says, thanks for your music and sharing your faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you, Mark. Someone says it must be hard to talk about Jesus in a secular setting. And I'm just going to be honest, it's hard not to. You know, God has been so good. He's been a center of my life, center post, and everything hangs on Him to me. And so this is just part of it here, and to get that word across for me, because I believe that He is the answer for all of your problems and all of your needs. And you know, just trust Him. You just trust Him. And in a time like this too, yeah, how could you leave Him out? And that's the truth. Colin says, would have loved to see you play with Mark Knopfler. Here you go. Sadly, it never happened. Well, it hasn't happened yet. He's still around, and so am I, as far as I know. John says, how often do you play your nylon string guitars, and what nylon string guitar is your favorite? Well, that's an easy one for me. I mean, we have some really great guitars. I have an Alhambra that my son Caleb has now. That's a great guitar. I have an old, let's see, what is it? Something that Dad had years ago. Alvarez Yari. It was a really good one though. But this is my favorite one. It's a Kirk Sand, and I'm not going through an amp right there. I should. Look at these orange amps back here. And yeah, so for my next video, I need to do. I'll do more of this and show how great they sound on a tube amplifier. Just a tube amp. You don't even need an acoustic amplifier, and this sounds really good. And so the bossa nova type thing, I just love that, and I don't play enough of that. I wrote that song years ago, and there's several of that I've written on. But my favorite thing is just just simple stuff. It's just, you can play just the most simple music with a nylon string guitar, and they just sound so good. And I probably didn't have it up high enough. I apologize for that. But now I'm using my signature strings here, and these are stone ground, the first two, and then the third one is a wound silver, the third through the sixth. And these are GHS Doyle Dykes strings, and I'll show you a set of those. Let's see. And I also have the steel that we are now offering on our website, or it should be up. If they're not, they will be soon. But this is the Doyle Dykes. Now this is the old school packaging here. They may still make these in this package. And there I am at, anyway, that was done in Austin. And so this is Doyle Dykes La Classique, and DD 2300. And Max Crace did the photography on this. Max is a rock and roll photographer for sure. And here's the other Doyle Dykes strings, DDS 325. I've been using these for years. And so we're going to stop with that, because I've been going over too much. And I'll just continue on here in just a moment. I promise. I'll be back.